Hey, Janet, where have you run off to? Hello, Rita. What did you want to talk about? I put all the paperwork for tomorrow's presentation on your desk. So I'd like you to go ahead and copy all of those and make enough copies for everyone coming, please. You want me doing all that today? There are going to be 21 people attending the proposal meeting, so please make that many copies for me. Even the CEO and a few other higher-ups will be there. So make sure all the papers are properly aligned after copying them and staple them together. Hold on for a moment. I'm already heading back to my house right now. Huh? Why are you doing that? You still have a lot of work to do today. You can't just skip work like that without telling anyone. Didn't you hear that since last week I've started to work shorter shifts here within the company? I know that for normal work weeks you all have to work until 5:30, but as for myself with this new schedule, I'm only needed in the office until 4 p.m. And because of that, I'm sure there are other people in the department there to help you now. So, because of that change to my schedule, I'm not going to be able to do any work for you right now as I'm not in the office. Well, why don't you just turn around and come back here? Please don't say such nonsense. I already stamped my time card and everything. I don't want to have to come back in and create an unnecessary problem for HR. So, you're not even going to listen to what the full-time employee is asking you now? Just because you happen to be older than me and have more years under your belt here doesn't mean you can talk back to me now that you're working part-time practically. As for the amount of work you have there, that's up to the department manager. So if you find that you have too much work for yourself to do, go talk to them, please. The department manager is not here right now. Well, then you can go to another high-up that's currently in the office with you and ask them for their help with the situation. I'm sure they'll be able to help you figure something out. Also, wasn't that task to have all those copies made and then stapled together a task given to you by the department manager? Also, you have only been within this company for 2 months. You are still only considered to be a new hire. So I wouldn't push your luck too much when it comes to the work you're being asked to do. Depending on how well you're able to manage your time and do your job here will ultimately decide where you move up to in the future. And even if you had been here for multiple years now, you trying to push your work off onto another employee like that is a no-go. Jeez, who the hell cares about any of that? Hurry up and get back here so that you can copy these papers for me. Then you'd like me to call the office right now and tell one of the managers there that you are currently trying to push your work off onto other people? Huh? As of right now, I am not supposed to work any overtime when it comes to my schedule. So if I'm to come back to the office and do more work today, I'm going to have to go into overtime, and HR would not be too pleased with that. And at that point, I'd have to explain to them why I came back into work and put more work in. So if you're completely fine with me explaining the reason for clocking back into them, then I'll be back there really soon. Whatever. I get it now. I'm going to have to do all this work myself now then. If you're able to do that, then you'd be helping yourself out a lot. I'm heading into the supermarket to get some shopping done now, so I'll have to go. Who cares? All you are is an old hag that just talked back to one of the full-time employees here. I have proof of that now. Well, just remember that this weekend at the welcoming party for the new CEO, only full-time employees and family members will be allowed to go. So, unfortunately for you, now that you've told me you've switched to working part-time, you won't be able to attend said party anymore. And as for myself, now that I won't have you around me to cause trouble at the party, I'll be able to prove myself to the young and sexy CEO and get him to never forget who I am. But as for yourself, since you can't come to this amazing party, you'll get to spend the day by yourself like any other. Right? You have to understand that now, right? This is something I'm going to be smiling about for a while now. Seriously, it sucks to be an old hag like you. What the hell, Janet? Hey, Janet, what the hell is wrong with you? Why the hell is a part-timer of an old hag here at the CEO's welcoming party? The only people that are allowed to attend today are the full-time employees and the family of the CEO. You leave this place right now. Rita? Who was the one that said only full-time employees were allowed to come to this party? Excuse me? Well, it's the CEO's welcoming party, right? You think he'd want part-timers to be showing up to see him on his entrance into the company? Then tell me why there are other part-time workers here from both other departments in the company and of higher-ups themselves. What? I'm sure that with you only having been within this company for a mere 2 months yet, you haven't been able to meet and recognize everyone that works for the company, right? But I'm sure you can tell that some of the other people attending today also work shorter shifts for the company, right? I'd stop it with your shenanigans right now before you start to get others involved that you'd rather not be upset with you. What the heck? Then those that work in the planning department part-time are not allowed to be here. Huh? I, one of the full-time employees for the company, have just decided on that, so get the hell out. I am really sorry, Rita, but I have to start talking to some very important people of mine, so I'll be going now. Huh? Talking to some important people, to you? Now, you listen here. Why the hell are you talking with all the executive directors and such now? And what's this with you being able to stand right next to the CEO like that? Do you not understand what your position as a part-timer means here? Also, the dress you're wearing to this kind of party is way too fashionable for you. Don't tell me. Are you trying to become the wife of the CEO or something? This cannot be. I need you to get the hell out of this party, one way or another. I'm the only one that seemed to have noticed this, so I must act now before it's too late for the CEO. You freaking loser! This is what happens when you try to make yourself look good in front of the higher-ups, when all you are is a low-life part-timer. Rita, what were you trying to do by causing all of this? And why were you just standing there in the back corner of the hallway waiting for me outside of everyone's view? My beautiful white dress is all stained in that red wine you were holding on to. I made sure that your dress would be ruined on purpose, you know. Now your only choice is to go home and leave all of us alone. So this was all a part of your plan to get me to leave this party? All because you didn't like the idea of me being here? That's right. Nobody wants to see you in that ugly-looking dress now, so I'd say your only option is to leave right away. Well, you have a good point. Especially since I'm drenched and might catch a cold standing in this cold building with only my dress on. I guess I really do have to head home. But I'll be back. You will not be back, though, is the thing. If you come back here again, I might just have to get myself another glass of wine to pour all over you. Do you have any idea what others will think when I have to leave? All that'll happen after you're gone is the party will be able to continue the way it should have without you here. And as for the CEO, he'll no longer have to look at an ugly old hag like you anymore, and can focus on more important matters like myself. So get lost, you loser! This dress happened to be really important to me, and I had it all prepared for a day like today, as the CEO wanted me to. Huh? If he becomes aware, when he becomes aware that this dress he was so excited about is covered in red wine, I'm sure he'll become very sad. Actually, he might become very upset. Huh? What are you going on about now? Janet, hey, can you please come back to the party? If you don't come back here, I'm going to really be in for something horrible. I didn't know anything about that. I literally never thought that someone like you would actually be the CEO's wife. And the reason for you becoming a part-timer after being a full-timer for so long was because your husband became the new CEO. And in order to have someone around the house more while he'd become more busy, you decided to work less hours for the company. And now that I think about it, the CEO happens to have the same last name as you do. Why did I never notice something like that before? Hey, Janet! Were you able to talk with the CEO? He's pissed at me. But I just assumed this whole dang time that the CEO had been single and had no other women. And I never knew that you were the wife of the CEO. Had you just simply told me about that sooner, I would have never had to kick you out of the party today. I had no choice, right? Rita, I think the problem that you're facing right now is something completely different from what you're thinking. Huh? Of course, it's totally unacceptable to pour wine all over the wife of the company's CEO like you did. But even had you not poured wine all over me and kicked me out of the party, you already had a whole lot of problems going on that could not be avoided. I hope you realize that the CEO is not only pissed at you about what happened today, but about plenty of other things that have been piling up, caused by you. I get that I've screwed up already, so just hurry back here, will ya? No. I happen to have a plan with the CEO on when I'm to come back to the party. So until that time has come, I'm going to be waiting at home for him to be finished dealing with you. Why won't you just come back here? Well, you happen to still be at the party, correct? Huh? I have every right to not want to be there while you're still in that building, right? You are a scary girl that thinks it's okay to pour wine all over me on purpose. And I can't be going back there until you're gone for good. I'm a scary girl? You think I am? As a matter of fact, right now you've been isolated into another room by some of the men there. And you have to wait in there until your parents arrive from the town to pick you up. They really went and called my parents on me? I was just trying to get rid of the old hag that was getting in the way of me and the CEO today. Why am I being fired from that company? I told everyone already that the only problem was that I didn't know you were the CEO's wife. Had I just known that one thing, I wouldn't have done anything to you. Also, all I did was spill a small amount of wine on you. My parents have already told me that they'll be paying for your dress to be cleaned for you, so I don't see what the problem is anymore here. You're firing me without any good reason. I could sue your husband for that. Settle down, Rita. I have something very important to tell you. The fact that you did all that when you haven't even been with the company long enough to consider yourself a proper employee gives this company every right to fire you over that. Also, the fact that you already told me you poured the wine on me on purpose could have the possibility of making the whole situation be taken into the police's hands. What? I've been talking with my lawyer about all that happened, and that's what he's told me. You're talking with a lawyer? I'm sure when you talk with him, he'll explain everything in a lot more detail to you. But I think you should stop it with all your BS and just let him take care of the situation with you. But I've already been told I need to pay an out-of-court settlement to you, though. I'm sure that's what the lawyer will be coming to me for then. Not only have I been fired and won't be getting any kind of money for it, I'm going to have to be the one to pay for all that happened. So why is this all happening to me now? I never meant to hurt the CEO's feelings. On the day of the party, just as I had explained to Rita, her parents were on their way to pick her up from the place and have a talk with the CEO. When they did arrive, I was still waiting at my house, and so my husband handled everything for me. Her parents both apologized for their daughter's actions and then left the party, taking their daughter home with them. After that, her parents then helped us by paying the out-of-court settlement I'd asked for with the help of my lawyer. But this did not fix anything really, as when it came to Rita, she was not able to learn what she'd really done wrong, and only told me a verbal sorry. Because of that, her parents realized that they never raised their daughter well enough if this was how she'd act. And so they forced her to start working for a landscaping company owned by her uncle, where he works her hard. She can't even push her work off onto any of the other workers either, as they're all big men that will not take that kind of crap from some small girl. Actually, due to the fact that her parents had to take out a loan to pay for the settlement, they made sure to put her name on it so that she'd have to pay it off over time. So as of right now, she's having to work every day of the week making money that she's not even allowed to keep, as it goes right into paying off her debt. And with that, she cries and cries and cries, all while trying her best to work a very laborious job with nobody around wanting to help her.
Chloe, I just got off work. You're off today, right?
Yep. I'm off from all my part-time jobs today. I already made dinner, too.
Thanks. Were you able to relax today?
Yep, it's been a while since I've had a full day off. I was able to really sit back and relax. The day went by so quickly, though.
I'm glad you were able to have time off. But are you okay?
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, you're off today, but you've been working almost every day recently, right? I'm wondering if you're overworking yourself.
Aw, thank you for worrying about me. But I'm totally fine. Don't worry about me, Brian.
You've been a stay-at-home wife since we got married, but you started working so much recently. I can't help but be worried about you.
I guess, but I'm doing this all because I want to.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But you don't need to work this much, right? We've been able to live comfortably with my paycheck. You don't need to overwork yourself, Chloe.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you so much, Brian. We've been having a stable life because of how hard you work.
Then there's no need for you to work so hard, is there?
I can't keep letting you spoil me, though. We might decide to have kids, or you might get sick and not be able to work, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's possible, but...
Right? It'll be easier if I'm working when that happens, won't it? Plus, I want to start a savings account, too. Things will be easier for you if I'm working, right?
I mean, having more savings is definitely a good thing. I control the finances and have money saved up right now. But it'd be a lot of help if you had savings too.
Of course. So honestly, don't worry about me. I just want to do what I can to support you as your wife. Okay?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go against you after all that convincing.
I'm glad. Thank you.
But I want you to be more careful about the way you're working now. If you keep working the way you are, you're gonna get sick.
I can't do anything about it right now. But once I get the hang of things, I'm planning to take on fewer shifts. So don't worry too much.
Please do that. I'll feel so much better if you did. Oh, one other thing. I was going to ask you yesterday, but I forgot.
Yeah? What's wrong?
You know how you came home late last night? That's why I didn't get the chance to ask, but what is that envelope addressed to you all about? There was a similar one delivered last month too, right?
Oh, it's nothing. You know how I started working recently? So they've been sending me mandatory paperwork. I've just been receiving papers with instructions and those kinds of things. So don't worry about it too much.
I see. Okay then. I'm almost home.
I'll heat up dinner.
Brian, sorry to bother you during your work. I have something important to talk about with you. Respond to me when you have the time. George? Did something happen? I don't get text messages from you that often. Oh, well, I knew that you had work today. I thought I'd be a bother if I called. Anyways, how's your work going? Is it going well? Yes, very well. Thanks for asking. Chloe's been supporting me a lot too. I've been working much more productively compared to when I was single. Doing good, I see. I know this is awkward to ask, but you're not getting paid less, are you? Not really, no. In fact, I've gotten a raise this year. This is all thanks to Chloe. A pay raise. Then why are you guys in this kind of situation? Brian, do you even care about my daughter? What? What are you talking about? Stop acting clueless. My daughter came over here to ask us to lend her $10,000. How dare you not give her money to pay for living expenses? What? $10,000? Living expenses? I heard that she's struggling because you don't give her money for things around the house. That's why she's asking for us to pay for her living expenses. What the hell's going on? What do you mean? I have no idea what's going on either. What do you say? Are you going to act like you're innocent after making my daughter cry? I've been giving my wife $5,000 every month. I intended that money to include our living expenses, so I'm really not sure what you're talking about. $5,000? That much? Oh, I just remembered you work in finance. Yes, thankfully I have a fairly good job, but if what you're saying is true, that would mean that my daughter's lying to me. I guess you're right. My daughter never contacted me before she got married to you, so I'm grateful for you in that sense. But this and that is a different story. It's hard not to trust my own daughter. I understand what you're saying, George. If you're worried, I can show you my bank statements. Because of my job, I've been controlling all our finances other than our living expenses. Well, if you're going to say all that, I believe you. I'm sorry for doubting you in the beginning. It's okay. Thank you for believing what I told you. Anyways, I'm more worried about my daughter. She lied to me so that she could borrow $10,000. She might be in a situation where she can't tell us what's going on. About that, there's something a little off about my wife recently. How so? She started working a bunch of different jobs recently. She also keeps getting letters from a lawyer. Is that true? Your daughter doesn't know of the fact that I'm aware that the envelopes are from a lawyer, though. But I do think it's weird she's keeping a secret from me, too. That's true. I understand. What are you gonna do? I'll try talking to her about it. No matter the reason, $10,000 is a lot of money. It'll be difficult if we don't know the real reason for it. Yeah, I think it'll be better if I don't question her about it. Besides, if she gets suspicious, we might not be able to get anything out of her. I'll leave the rest up to you, Brian. Thank you so much.
Brian, sorry I'm late. I'm heading home now. Did you eat already? If not, I can buy something on the way.
It's fine, I ate already. Good job at work today.
You too. Okay, maybe I'll stop by the store on my way home. Is there still food left at home?
There's some pasta left over, but we're running low on sauce, so maybe you should get some on the way home.
I'll do that then. Whew! I'm so tired from today though. I'm so tired I might fall asleep right after I get home.
Are you okay? I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty about your working schedule now, but honestly, please be careful.
I know. I'm taking care of my physical health. Don't worry about me.
But, what's the reason you're working so hard? Is there something you want to buy? You know I'll buy it for you if you tell me, right?
I told you, it's for our future. It's not something you need to worry about, Brian.
I mean, sure. That's fine. Anyways, you got another letter.
Oh, really? I'll read it when I get home. You can just leave it somewhere.
Sure, but why is the letter from a lawyer?
Huh? Did you look inside? Without my permission?
No, I didn't look inside. But I don't need to open the envelope to find out who sent it. Anyone would be curious if their wife was getting letters from a lawyer. Do you have some kind of problem telling me?
Of course not. We're married.
Right. So what's this about? Like I said earlier, I'm curious.
It's really nothing. You know how I hit the Johnson's ledge with my car a while ago?
Yeah. But hasn't that situation been settled already, right?
We settled everything, but I still get notified about the reports and things like that. That envelope is probably something related to that. So you don't really have to worry about it.
You should have told me that from the beginning then. You made me overthink it.
Overthink what?
Like whether you're hiding something from me, Chloe. It's not a very good feeling to doubt your own wife. Make sure you tell me if something happens from now on.
Yeah, you're right. I'll do that from now on.
It's a promise. Okay, I'm gonna go run a bath or something.
Brian, what time are you coming home today? Dinner's already ready.
You're already at home?
Yup. It's rare that I'm home earlier than you.
I see. I'm sorry. I don't think I can come home today.
Huh? What's wrong? Is it work?
No, I'm away seeing someone. I'm in a different state right now, so I'll probably have to spend the night out here.
Out of state? Who are you seeing?
Your ex-husband.
What are you saying? You're the only person I've married. I don't have an ex-husband.
But he's right in front of me. Do you really think you can still lie in this situation? He's not with me right now, but I even met your son.
So you're really seeing him right now?
I never would have thought that you had a son. Seems like he's already in preschool. Your ex-husband's raised him well.
Oh. But why? How did you find out about my ex-husband?
The envelope from the lawyer. Your ex-husband's name and address were written on it.
Didn't I tell you not to look at it without my permission? Just because we're married doesn't mean you can just do things like that.
Doesn't mean you can just do whatever either. I know that you lied to your father and borrowed $10,000 from him.
That's... I had a complicated reason.
I know that too. You never paid child support, did you? That's why your ex-husband was having trouble.
Having trouble? There's no way that's true. He never said anything until now.
That's because he was trying to put distance between you two since you had a new life.
Then he should have kept doing that. He suddenly charged me with all the past payments and said that if I couldn't pay it, I'll be taken to court. Thanks to him, I'm in so much trouble right now.
Well, of course, there's a reason for that too. Did you even read the letter properly?
I did. My son's sick, so he needs money, right?
Then don't you understand? Your ex-husband didn't do anything wrong.
So what? I have to give him money now? I'm living a happy life married to you now. But my own son is getting in the way of that.
Getting in the way? He's your son.
We got a divorce right after he was born, so he's like a stranger to me. So I borrowed $10,000 from my dad and started working to pay that money back. No one has any right to say anything about me.
You did that because you didn't want to get taken to court. It wasn't out of love for your son.
Who cares about that? Either way, I did what I needed to do. This is an issue between my ex-husband and I. It's not something you need to meddle in.
Yeah, you're right. But I can't just ignore what happened. And I don't think I can continue to be married to you either.
Why are you saying that? Is it because I used to be married? Or because I never told you that I had a kid? I'll apologize for all of that.
I don't care about any of that. Besides, I don't think you were the only one at fault for your divorce. And your parental rights aren't any of my business. I have nothing to say if you both agreed.
Then what aren't you happy about?
You said it yourself, that your son is getting in the way of your happiness.
But it's the truth.
You have no right to be a mother if you can say something like that so easily. Plus, you never paid child support until now. Even when you found out your son was sick, you're still acting like that. I don't think someone like that can be a good mother to a child.
That's because we got divorced. You and I aren't divorced. So of course I'm going to do everything I can if we have a child together.
Then you're basically saying that if we get divorced, you won't care about our child anymore either, right?
That was just a way of phrasing things. Stop nitpicking the small details.
No, this is the truth. If you really cared about your son, you could have told me the truth and asked me to help pay for your son's hospital bills. You didn't need to lie to your father either.
If I did that, my whole life would have been messed up.
You're right. That's why you didn't do it. You love yourself more than you could ever love your child. Basically, you don't care about what happens to your son, right? In the end, you showed your true colors.
Why would you say it like that? You're being so awful.
You're the one that's awful. This is all the consequence of all the bad actions that you've piled up. Give up and take in your new reality. Chloe and I officially got divorced. My father-in-law also found out about what Chloe had been doing and cut off his ties with her. Of course, he's making her pay back the $10,000. I'm charging her with alimony as well. As for Chloe's ex-husband, he was able to get the $10,000 in child support that Chloe never paid. With that, he was able to pay for his son's medical bills. Chloe was a terrible mother, and she only paid her ex-husband $10,000 to save herself. But thanks to that, Chloe's son was able to get the medical care he needed. So I don't think everything was bad in the end. It seems like her ex-husband is going to keep demanding child support from her, so she'll have to continue working. No matter how hard it gets, I want her to face the consequences of her actions and realize her past mistakes.